Hey everyone, while Ford and Chrysler are doing who knows what, it's time to take a closer look at Chinese cars. There's already a lot of interesting stuff popping up there. Just a reminder, my name is Tyler. Let's figure out these automotive wonders together.
So, let's dive straight into what the first Omoda S5 owners are saying. Many are praising its comfort, especially for city driving. The seats are surprisingly supportive, even on longer commutes. People are mentioning the surprisingly quiet cabin. Road noise is minimal, which is a huge plus in a bustling city environment. The suspension does a good job of absorbing smaller bumps and potholes, making for a smooth ride. The steering is also light and responsive, making navigating tight city streets a breeze. Many owners have commented on how easy the car is to park, thanks to its relatively compact size and good visibility. Overall, the consensus is that the Omoda S5 is a genuinely comfortable car for navigating the urban jungle. It's a car you can easily spend hours in without feeling fatigued. But of course, it's not all sunshine and roses. There are some pretty significant downsides reported by early adopters. One of the biggest complaints centers around the infotainment system. While it looks sleek and modern, several owners report glitches and occasional freezing, which can be incredibly frustrating. The responsiveness isn't always consistent, and some features are reportedly clunky to use. Another recurring issue is the build quality. Some owners have reported minor rattles and squeaks from the interior, which for a brand new car is definitely a disappointment. The paint quality has also been questioned by a few, with some noticing minor imperfections even straight from the dealership. These are definitely areas where Omoda needs to improve. Now, let's talk about the chassis. While the ride is comfortable in the city, some owners have reported a less-than-ideal experience on less-than-perfect roads. Larger bumps and potholes can transmit a bit more impact into the cabin than some would prefer. The handling, while adequate for city driving, isn't particularly sporty or engaging. It feels more geared towards comfort than outright performance. On winding roads, the body roll is noticeable, and the steering lacks the precision some drivers might desire. It's not a bad chassis by any means, but it's not going to set any performance benchmarks either. It's a perfectly acceptable chassis for everyday driving, but don't expect any thrills. Finally, the CVT transmission is a point of contention for many owners. While it provides smooth acceleration in city driving, some report a noticeable lag when accelerating from a standstill or attempting to overtake on the highway. The engine can sometimes feel strained under heavier loads, and the CVT's characteristic droning sound at higher RPMs is a common complaint. Several owners have expressed disappointment with the fuel economy, claiming it's not as efficient as advertised. While not a complete disaster, the CVT is definitely an area where the Omoda S5 falls short of expectations for many. It's a functional transmission, but it's not a highlight of the car's performance. So, let's dive straight into what the first Omoda S5 owners are saying about their experiences. We're going to cover everything from the interior to whether it's a practical daily driver and everything in between. Let's start with the interior. The interior of the Omoda S5 is a bit of a mixed bag. Honestly, many owners rave about the modern design. The dashboard is sleek, the infotainment system is generally praised for its responsiveness and user-friendly interface, and the overall feel is quite premium for a car in this price range. However, some have pointed out that the materials used, while looking good, don't always feel as high quality as they might initially appear. There have been reports of some plastics feeling a little cheap to the touch, particularly on certain parts of the dashboard and door panels. The seating is another area of contention. While some find the seats comfortable for long journeys, others complain about a lack of lumbar support, leading to discomfort on longer drives. And the space in the back, well, that's another area where opinions diverge. Some owners say it's spacious enough for adults, while others find it a bit cramped, especially if you're taller than average. So, The interior is definitely a case of personal preference, and it's worth checking it out in person before making a decision. Next up, let's talk about the driver assistance and safety systems. The Omoda S5 boasts a pretty impressive array of features, including things like adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and automatic emergency braking. Most owners seem happy with the performance of these systems, reporting that they work effectively and provide a good level of safety. However, there have been a few reports of some glitches and inconsistencies. Some owners have mentioned that the lane keeping assist can be a bit overzealous at times, while others have reported issues with the adaptive cruise control not always reacting smoothly to changing traffic conditions. It's worth noting that these issues seem to be relatively infrequent, but it's something to be aware of. Overall, the safety features are a definite plus point for many, but it's always good to test them out yourself to see how they feel to you. Now, let's move on to the paintwork. This is where things get a little more controversial. A significant number of early adopters have reported issues with the paint quality. Several owners have described the paint as being surprisingly thin, making it more susceptible to scratches and chips. Some have even reported experiencing paint imperfections straight from the dealership. This is a serious concern, of course, as it impacts both the aesthetic appeal and the long-term value of the vehicle. The manufacturer's response to these complaints has been varied, with some owners reporting helpful and responsive customer service, while others feel their concerns have been dismissed or ignored. This is definitely something to keep in mind if you're considering purchasing an Omoda S5. Thoroughly inspect the paintwork before driving it off the lot. Finally, let's address the question of whether the Omoda S5 is a good car for everyday use. This really depends on your individual needs and priorities. On the positive side, many owners praise the car's fuel efficiency, reporting impressive mileage figures. The infotainment system, as mentioned earlier, is generally well received, making daily commutes more enjoyable. The car's size and maneuverability make it easy to navigate city streets and parking lots. However, some owners have expressed concerns about the ride quality, finding it a bit firm on rough roads. Others have mentioned that the boot space, while adequate for most needs, isn't particularly large. So, while the Omoda S5 is certainly capable of handling daily driving tasks, it's not without its compromises. Consider your daily driving habits and needs carefully before making a decision.